So we're going to start with a few things that are not yet on the ground. Unfortunately, my grapes are not yet in the ground. However, I think they're going to be okay in there for just a bit longer until I get them situated. These are my melons. I've got Tigger and Honeydew, and these are going to be going in this bed over here once I'm back from my trip there. The slugs are really bad here, y'all, so I don't want to put them in the ground until they're a little bit bigger, a little bit more protected. There's these 2 huckleberries and then those 3 huckleberries up there. And then I've got the rest of my tiny sad little tomatillos and a bunch of brassicas. These are broccoli and Brussels sprouts. And unfortunately, they're a bit intermixed. So until they get a bit bigger, it's going to be hard to tell which is which. Down here, I've got more, but these are all Brussels sprouts except for the back row is Thai broccoli. And these are the last of my purple beauty peppers. Down here I've got chamomile and I think those are tomatoes. I took all the big ones out and there's still some sprouting, so I'm just gonna let them, and hopefully by the time I get back they'll be a bit bigger and they might be able to go in the ground. I did change out my baskets to have some snapdragons now, so there's snapdragons in the baskets. My hydrangeas are in the ground. And you can see they're a little worse for wear, but I'm hoping that at least next season they'll be okay. I've got cilantro here. I also seeded some more cilantro in. Again, the slugs have been bad, so you can see some of that damage. And then over here I've got apple mint. That should explode and kind of take off. It's not doing particularly well at the moment, but I'm hoping that that'll fill itself out. I've got my lavender in the ground here, plus 1 rosemary. So that's a nice little barrier on this side. I took those walking stones out because it was really just attracting bugs, particularly slugs and ants. So I wanted to get rid of that issue. So those are gone. There are a couple in here. Those won't be staying there. They're just in there for now. They're actually going to come out when I get back because my brassicas are going to go right in that spot. I've got... where should I start? Okay. So you can see there's some marigolds interplanted there. These are all the peppers that you saw in my last video. I've got my lemon verbena and my thyme in here. There were some lettuces interplanted. Those have been eaten by the slugs. There are still some red cabbages, but as you can see, a lot of them have also been eaten by the slugs. There's marigolds, nasturtium. I've got another nasturtium over here by my rhubarb. My kidney bean, again, attacked by slugs. It looked a lot better before. You can see that they've been chewing things off. That is why I've got a bean germinating here. That's why there's so many eggshells in here. It's supposed to be good to keep slugs away. I have also set up beer traps everywhere using hard cider, which is working, by the way, in case you're not really a beer drinker. I had some hard cider from my mom visiting, so I just used that. My beets are looking good. These carrots were looking good, and now they've been chewed down by the slugs. So I may have to, we'll see. I may have to resow those. They may be just fine. Not sure. My peas are actually looking pretty good. They look bad down there, but that is old damage. Obviously this trellis is not really going to be long enough, so I'm probably going to have to think of something else. But for now, these are doing all right. There is another kidney bean over there, which has also been eaten a lot. My artichokes here have been chomped on quite a bit. I've got my determinate tomatoes here, along with some basil interplanted and marigolds. These are purple moon cauliflowers. That one especially has been really chewed up. Well, actually that one has too. So anyway, we'll see. And then I've got a bunch of baby broccoli there. That is borage, and then bergamot is back here. It has germinated, but you can barely see it because they're teeny tiny. That is the one dahlia that's come up so far. There's 2 extra snapdragons there. And I did seed, as you remember from the other video, a bunch of squash and cucumbers along here. So moving to the new little bed, I did go ahead and get my second rhubarb in the ground over here. I pruned my rosemary because that's also supposed to help deter pests, and since I'm going to be gone, I won't be here to hand pick anything. I'm hoping that all this rosemary interlaces enough to keep some things away. These are English cucumbers. You can see they've they've been snacks for the slugs. And then these two are lemon cucumbers, and that row over there is also lemon cucumbers. These are tomatillos, and these two on the end are eggplant. The middle of this bed is all tomatoes. These are indeterminates. This is not a permanent structure system. I have these in place just while I'm gone. What I'm probably going to do is a Florida weave when I get back. I'm going to do it crisscross though, so we're going to see how that goes. And then there are little baby green and purple basils interspersed. I've also seeded some marigolds, so there should be more marigolds popping up. Back here I've got my, what are these? Oh, these are the loofahs. And then I've got my garbanzo beans. One thing that I forgot to mention over there, those are okra. And then these little ones, which, so that and that, there was a third. You can see its little stem right there. I'm going to go over there so you can see it better. So, let's see, that and that are quinoa. That was also quinoa, but it got eaten. And then that's okra, and that little one right there is okra. I'm hoping to germinate some more quinoa and do kind of a succession of those, but I'm gonna start that before I leave. But it really needs to be that size before I bring it out here, because these little ones are getting munched. That's about the same size that one was, and it was way too little to be put out here, unfortunately. Again, I've got the rosemary, and then also these pokier rosemary sticks and the eggshells just kind of strewn around. I'm hoping to protect those plants while I'm away. So it's been a bit since the first part of this video, but my potatoes are looking good. These 4 are red potatoes, and these 5 are white potatoes. They've all popped up now, so they are growing. Those pots I'm going to plant when I get back, and these 2 over here, those are going to be a mix of white potatoes and fingerlings. So that's what's going right now. This is a nice big space. This is the tarp that was over the camper, so it's a huge tarp. And it's going to be a great space for more gardening. The other thing I've got going is some flowers back here. I raked this around back here a little bit and then just topped it with some nicer soil. I've mostly direct sown back here. So there will be sunflowers, echinacea, zinnias, something else. These are little calendula starts. There's also bluebonnets that'll be around in here. I'm from Texas originally, so I just got a little piece of bluebonnet. And then there are some more flowers interspersed. Apologies, I don't remember exactly what all I threw down. It was a little bit ago. But there's going to be quite a lot of flowers just in this area. Once this becomes the greenhouse she shed area, I think I might actually turn this into more of a yard space, like just this little patch of nice comfy grass that I can walk on in my bare feet. And or maybe clover instead of grass, but just make it a little bit nicer. I'll dump a bunch more soil here like I did over there, and then just seed it with some sort of cover that's nice on the toes, because this will actually be the porch side of that structure when we get to that point. So it'd be nice to have just kind of a little yard area here. I also at some point want to start doing Angora rabbits. I hope that I can start that next year, but it may be a bit further out. But this would be a nice place for them to be during the day if there was like grass and clover and nice things for them to munch. They won't be going in those flowers, but you know, having a nice little bunny tractor or something in this area would be good. I may do the same back there. That's going to be where long term all the trees will go, the fruit trees. So this will get tarped over fall and winter, and then that way I can start planting some fruit trees just all along this corridor. I'm not going to go into the wooded area, but just this part that's cleared goes all the way to those long trees down there. It's, I don't know, I'm not good at distances at all, but it's far. It's plenty of room for quite a few fruit trees, probably more fruit trees than I can even afford in one year, but it'll get it started. And then I can have, you know, some nice plants under the trees. I might do just grass and clover so that I can also tractor the bunnies along here. So that's where we're at. I'm excited to see how much growth there is between now and when I get back. So I'll do another welcome back to the homestead tour when I am back from my trip. Officially my first time watering since being back from my work trip. Also, we're on well water, so this is not chlorinated or anything. So I have decided to go ahead and take up this leaf mulch because it attracts the slugs, and I really don't need that. I've already got plenty of slugs around without attracting more. I also live by the ocean, so what I'm going to try and do before my next work trip that's coming up in a few weeks here is go ahead and collect a bunch of seaweed and let it dry, and then use that as a mulch. It's really good for your plants and your soil, and the salt content tends to deter the slugs. So I'm going to try that and see how that goes, but for now I'm going to pull these leaves up. It's June 2nd. I've been gone since May 19th. You're going to notice there is a ton of growth. There's also quite a lot of loss, so we'll talk about that as we go through. All my lavender and rosemary is looking good. My rosemary is putting off some blooms. You may also notice that my bulbs are popping up, and those are gladiolus bulbs. My chamomile has settled in nicely to its pot. My hydrangeas are still not very happy. I may have to move them, not sure. All my cilantro got eaten except for the seeds that I had seeded. Those are starting to pop up now. Hopefully they can get themselves established. My apple mint is getting bigger. It's definitely also been nibbled on. Hoping it does all right. Rhubarb is still getting decimated, so one of the other things I need to do is spray some more. There's ants. You can see them. So I'm gonna spray these with my dish soap solution again. Not right this second, but soon. My nasturtium is doing pretty okay. My beans have popped up. They're also getting eaten. Some of them are completely leafless because they've been chewed down. It's a really bad slug here. The people at the nursery were actually saying it's one of the worst ones they've heard about so far. But most of my beans are popping up. I need to take out these ferns that are popping in. My purple snow peas are looking amazing. They're trellising really well. And I also have my first pea It's not ready yet, but I'm excited to see it, and it is such a lovely purple color. As you can see, my beets are doing quite well. You might have also noticed there are 0 carrots. They've all been eaten. Actually, just kidding. There's one. The rest have all been eaten. So, oh no, there's 2. There's another one. So what I'll probably be doing soon is doing another planting of carrot seeds. My next work trip is on June the 18th. So I'll have some time to get some in the ground, and hopefully they'll get established before I leave so that they're not getting eaten. My thyme has definitely been chewed on, but it's hanging in there. My lemon verbena looks good. The nasturtiums over there look good. I only have 1 marigold left. All the other marigolds have been eaten. All of them. There's quite a few peppers that have been eaten, as you can see. Most of those are missing. Oh, just kidding, there is a marigold here. So there's 2 marigolds left. And then I do have some of my squash are popping up. I have a couple more popping up over here. This nasturtium popped up while I was gone. My snapdragons look good. And then this is all borage. It's getting bigger, growing in nicely. These broccolis are alive, so that's something. They haven't grown much. That nasturtium over there is growing. My artichokes have been nibbled quite a bit, but they're hanging in there. I've got a nasturtium popping up there. 2 of my 3 quinoas have been eaten, but this one is hanging in, so hopefully I can keep it alive and going. My okra has been nibbled. Pretty angry about it. Those were hard to get started. I'm hoping that this one will rebound. This one's not dead yet, so I just need to keep an extra close eye on it while I'm here. My purple moon cauliflowers. These 2 are doing quite well on this side. These 2 weren't doing so well even when they went in the ground, but they've definitely been nibbled as well. These tomatoes are my Scotia tomatoes. One of them got eaten here, one of them got eaten there. So I'm down to 3, but these 3 are looking okay. They're a little bit wimpy. Hopefully while I'm home I can get those better established. My raspberries, I have 10. They all look good except one I did end up pulling out. There was one here, so I'm down to 9, but they look pretty good. My berries over here look great. I've got elderberry, I've got a red currant. Oh no, sorry, this is serviceberry, Saskatoon, whatever you want to call it. I've got red, this is my red currant, and most of the currants have been picked off, but there is one. It's not red yet, obviously. And then this one will be the champagne. Oh, sorry, I'm backwards. This is the red currant, and its currants have stayed on. It's they're not ready to eat, but they're fruiting at least. So it's my champagne currant that has gotten eaten so far. There are some down here, just waiting for those to become edible. And then my blueberries have definitely been chewed on, but they're doing all right. No berries yet. Actually, maybe the berries got eaten. Not sure. Anyway, they're doing okay. My bulbs are starting to come up. I believe these are the crocosmias. And then my nasturtiums are popping up in this bed too. I had turnips and beets in here, and I think those are the turnips. They've definitely been munched, but they still exist. And if you look over here, this is where the beets were, and they are non-existent now. I have other beets, so it doesn't really matter. This bed has definitely been obliterated. So along here, I had my English cucumbers. You can see a stem left here, here, and here. And then I had lemon cucumbers here, here, and here. All of those have been eaten and down to the point they've been killed. So I'll need to restart those. I did start them inside, and you don't have to do that. You can start them right direct sown. So I'll just start some that way. My sage looks okay over there. I did have, I think, 3 or 4 tomatillos, and I'm down to 2 there and there. And then along this side, I had more lemon cucumbers. I'm down to just the 1. These are eggplants. There were 2 of them, down to the 1. So over here, if you remember, I had basil interplanted with all of my tomatoes. And as you can see, there now is not any basil interplanted with my tomatoes. But my tomatoes look good. My sun gold is flowering. I'm gonna let it. I've got my chickpeas back here, but I did also have loofahs. I had three loofahs along the back here. They have all been eaten. There's a stem of 1 left. So I'll have to restart those. Here is the only remaining basil in the whole bed, and it's barely grown. That may have been a seed, because I planted some babies and I also direct seeded some, so there is that. And then I also had planted beets and carrots all along in the middle. Not seeing any carrots at all, and the beets are mostly chewed on, but hopefully they will power through and grow back. These are my white potatoes that I planted a few weeks before I left. You can see that they really exploded while I was gone. They're looking great. This week I'm going to add a bunch of soil to these to mound them all up. These are the white potatoes that were planted at the same time as the reds. Also gotten quite huge. And again, I'll be mounding these up as well. These are the fingerlings that I planted either the day I left or the day before. They are working on it. They've all popped up and are doing well so far. So I'll mound those up soon. Keep an eye on them before I leave. The tarp has hopefully done its job. I haven't looked under there yet. That is a job for probably this weekend. I'll just leave it up for the rest of the week. But everything that's left is doing pretty well. So I'm hoping that continues.